Welcome back to Alchemy Factory, where we continue our crazy let's play. We're gonna get to the challenges, the hardest challenges possible. We are not selling anything to our customers, the shop is closed, and we're also not buying any plots, not even the first one that you get in the tutorial. We're not buying any. So we're just going up, basically, up in a very small place. In the last episode, we started playing with those super expensive rotten logs, and as you can see, I am empty here in terms of money. So we're gonna want to send some money into this. The good thing is I do have some money, plus we're gonna get a lot of quests going very soon. And I did add, we ended the episode with 8 of those stable saws here for the rotten log. I added 12 more. That way we get to 20. 20 is what I need to have kind of a full gloom fungus production for my advanced fertilizer that are upstairs here. Alright, but I think what's happening is though we are a bit low on coal, on charcoal powder. So either we're gonna need to add more there, or we're gonna need to move to the next fuel. What I also did over here is, because we had more space, I added one very simple nursery for the flax. And the reason I did this is because we have a new production that we didn't do in the last episode, that is our soap. This was the last thing from tier 4 that we hadn't done. So I added this over here. The soap is actually plant ashes, and that's why I put it there, because we are making a lot of plant ashes here. All right, so making the plant ashes there, we may need to add one more of these, but that's fine. For now, it's okay. And the second thing that is needed for making this soap is some linseed oil. So similar to what we did with the red currant, we have here those extractors. They're taking each 30 flax. This is 120 with the advanced fertilizer, and that's why we have 4 of them. And that's creating what? So 6,000 of liquid, and we need 4,000 for one. So that's why I've put 2. Then it goes here to create, quite a bit of soap. And we're gonna need this soap for some of my quests, as you can see. I have also on this floor here completely revamped this. So I'm gonna show you in a second. But before we do that, I actually want to get the quests done to make sure that we actually get some nice money. So I need some bricks and some wooden pulleys. Give me a second. So the pulleys are here, 100 more, and then we need some bricks, which is over here. Okay, I'm gonna actually put more, and then we can jump. And then sell all of those things. So let's go selling random quests, pulleys and bricks. Sure, bulk order. We need a bit more pulleys and soap. Okay, then some iron ingots, some healing potion and soap. Sure, let's do it. And then we have 2 new quests that we just got because it's 9 AM. Some glass and some soap. We have 2 days for that one, and this one we have 0 days, but we're gonna get 200. So we're getting 75,000 coins for 90 vitality potion, which we have automated too, so all good there. Okay, so now I have so much money that we can put over here to make sure that these all buy some rotten logs and we restart kind of this production fully. But yeah, let me show you now the completely revamped floor here. This, you may remember, is the floor where we're selling into this the bandages, right? The contract, the wholesale contract bandages. And yeah, we are going to be able to sell a lot more now, as long as we get the fertilizer in. So that's probably the next thing I'm gonna need to check. But yeah, we needed to revamp the whole thing because with advanced fertilizer, instead of making 10 or 20 or 30 of the product, we're making 120 of each. So this is also why we have upgraded in the last episode our belts to 120. And we have it here, right? 1 belt each. This is 1 belt each, 1 belt each, 1 belt each. And they're going to each then go into kind of big lines for each. So we have, for example, for the sage, 6 grinder each, right? Because a grinder is 20. So that's 120 of sage. That's transformed into 120 of sage powder. And I'm doing the same on the side here, the same on the side, and they all go basically on this line here, right? Like we have basically 3 lines of 120 of sage powder. And given that one of those assembler here is taking 60, that means we can have 6 of these assembler for the potions, right? We have basically one line supporting 2, the second line supporting 2, and the third line supporting 2. But that means we also need 3 lines of flax fiber, right? And so that's what's happening actually with these 3 lines here. So these 3 here, they're going into this. We have the grinders actually on top of each other. Pretty cool. You know, the grinders, you can put a belt on top of the grinder. It will work, no problem. So that's what I've done here. We have you know, the one at the bottom here, the middle one, and the top one. And then this is the output. The 3 lines of 120 of flax fiber, and they go over here. We have first line supporting the first 2, second line here supporting the second 2, like the third and fourth, and then the last line for these 2. So that's creating 60 of healing potion per minute. So 60 healing potion per minute. We have actually over here, you know, a priority splitter to put some on this side here first. So if ever I need, you know, some potions, I can always come here. I'm sure we'll have some, basically. This is a priority. But if not, it will go onto this belt. And as we said, we're making 60 here. So 60 is 5 of these assemblers for the bandages, right? Because this is 12 for each. 12 times 5, that's 60. That means we're going to make 5 times 6, so 30 of those bandages per minute if we get enough linen, right? So now let's look at the linen production. This is going to come actually from 2 sides, the linen. You can see some of them are coming from this belt here, some of them from that belt there. So what is this all about? Well, we're already taking this, right? But we're not using yet these 3. So these 3 will do the same thing, right? We're going up to grind the flax into flax fiber, and it goes into those 3 lines. But instead of sending them directly, we're going to transform them into linen thread. This is also taking 60 each. So basically we can have 2 for each line, and given that there are 3 lines, that means 6. So 6 times 20 of the linen thread. That means on this belt here, if it's working at full speed, we're getting 120 of the linen thread. And so we're gonna do the same with the priority splitter to make sure we have some reserve on linen thread if we ever need some. But if not, it can go into one assembler here to transform into linen. This is exactly 1-to-1, right? 120. So it's gonna make 12 linen per minute. And then we're gonna do the same basically on the other side here, where I have 2 new lines. We just added those 2 new lines of flax. They're gonna, oh, I forgot, sorry, to connect here. So that's why it wasn't working at full speed too. But anyway, we're gonna have, you know, the flax going there. So it's 3 lines each, and it's gonna go here. So we have first, you know, 3 lines of grinders here, and also 3 lines of grinders there. And then each of them will go into, again, 6 of these to transform into linen thread. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then each of these 6 goes into one of these assembler to make the linen, right? 1 here and 1 there. So if we have enough advanced fertilizer for all of these to run at full speed, we will have 3 of these assemblers for linen. That means 3 times 12, that is 36. And if you look over here, each of these only needs 6. So we have 5 of them, that means 30. So we're actually gonna have a surplus of linen thread. So I should probably put, I know I have, you know, also linen thread here, you know, kind of priority splitter. I may want to put also one here, I guess. We can do that in a second. So that way we, again, if we, as long as we have enough fertilizer, we will make 30. I'm just making sure, yeah, it's connected there, to the right, up, and actually this is this. This one is the priority. Okay. So yeah, we will make 30 bandages per day, and therefore be able to sell, right, this, all of these 30 per day. Not 30 per day, sorry, 30 per minute. 30 per minute. And a minute is basically 1 day in game here. So there's 24 hours in a day, right? So we're gonna sell a lot. I mean, we'll see it. I think we could potentially even get to the 800 and make tons of money. Then it goes into this, it goes here, and this can support all of our money needs upstairs. So that is a pretty powerful one for sure. It also even goes back downstairs actually, into this. But as I said, my main issue right now is that some of these I think are not working because they don't have enough coal. So what I can do is add more of these coal makers over here, or we could potentially go also into the next coal, because we have over here 3 new fuel. We have the basic coal here that can create some coal, and that has already, I mean, if you look at the charcoal powder, right, this was 400, this was 48 of fuel power, right? The basic coal, which you just get by crushing coal, is already 540 of power, like heat power. So it is gonna, you know, heat a lot longer for sure. The only thing though is, of course, it's gonna cost more, right? You're gonna need to pay 4,800 for 1 coal ore. This versus this was basically made out of wood. But that's not all, right? We can also transform, as you can see over here, our coal into coke. And this is gonna move from 540 to 600. And then you can even crush that and make it 660. So it's even better, right? Even better. We will actually also need, or we will produce some coke, potentially also there, into the ethanol if we want from the charcoal powder. But like I said, you can also just get it directly by burning into a crucible the actual coal. You have 2 ways to make that. Okay, so I mean, we know we're getting money here, so I'm thinking that's what we're just gonna do. I'm just gonna buy some coal. Let's maybe put it as far as we can, but I don't know if we're gonna have enough space. If I put it, oh yeah, we have enough space. So it is. Now we're gonna say buy 1 coal. We should probably buy only 1, otherwise that's gonna be expensive in terms of working capital. Let's do this. Let's put it here. So we know we're gonna get only 1 as soon as we get, you know, the 4,800. It's coming because, you know, we have 25 on each of these. That's going to create the coal, and then we can get, you know, the coal out. And I could potentially just send the coal at this point directly in, you know, that's it. I wouldn't even need to do anything else. But as we saw, we can also transform it, you know, just use a bit of that coal to transform into something even better, coke, and then grind it to something even better. So let me build that just quickly offline, make it clean, and I'll see you in a minute. I think we can also just delete that for now. I could have put these on top of each other, but for now, to also show you better, I'm just putting them next to each other. So we have 3 of these, so that's gonna cost quite a bit of money, but don't worry, we have that money. And it's going to create 20 of coal each, that means 60 in total, right? Then we have over here a first box. I'll talk about it later. Basically, we're sending the coal this side, right? The coal goes this side, it goes into this crucible to be transformed into coke, and that requires energy. And that's creating 10, right? So again, we had 60 here, so we need 6 of these, and that means 60 of the coke that goes outside. Now this will go down. We have, you know, storage here just in case, if sometime I also need some. And then it's gonna go into those grinder. And you may be wondering why I didn't put the grinder directly there. It is because this is making 10, so that's 60. Oh, I just realized I made a mistake. Basically, to what I just said, this is not good. Because this is only, there is a 6 one hidden there. But this is only 5. So we need 6 more. No, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So here it is. That is why it was going so slow. I was like, why is this going so slow? But basically we need 12 of these because this is only 5. So I'm gonna need to then do something like this, do something like that, and it needs to also go down basically there, so that's fine. Basically like this, up here. I'm gonna need one more, like this. So we take an elevator that's going like that, perfect actually. Goes here, so sending some of the coke up. It's also going to be broken up upstairs, and then it just needs to go down to join with the rest of the ones down. Then we have a priority splitter. We're saying first please go that side. So we have, as you can see, some reserves. That's already full. I may also put another one here just to make sure we always have some reserves in different places. But basically we're saying first send it this side. And this side, this will go into this priority merger. And this is actually the priority at the bottom, with the one at the top not being the priority. This is then sent, as you can see up here, to heat those 2 furnaces. Right? This requires obviously some fuel source to work, so we need to send some. And this is why this is the priority here, right? There's no point in using all of this coke powder if I can't make more. So first we need to send it this side to make more. And why do we have a priority merger here? Well, basically I want to make sure that first we use this coke powder because this is the most efficient fuel I have right now. But if I don't have any coke powder for basically, let's say if we had no money here and this had stopped, right? I want to make sure that something does go, and this is why we have this coal over here that goes over here, right, and is basically coming from there. Where we're saying as soon as we make some coal, let's make sure we send some on this belt, and that way if we really don't have any coke, we can use this coal. But hopefully this will never ever happen. And then I could go even further and say, put another merger here with wood or something like this, but I think that would be a bit too much. So yeah, now that we have this coke powder, let's send it here into the thing here, right? Because that was the whole problem, is we didn't have enough here for these to burn all the time. Now with this we should, and then basically I can start deleting this, right? We can start deleting first these ones, that one. We're gonna be able to delete this thing there, up, and we can also then delete what's down there. We're gonna be able to start deleting this. Okay, so yeah, for now just made a few more coal, but the red thing is, again, this was kind of used very quickly. You can see this goes very quickly. Now let's actually take it out. You're gonna see that with that, it's gonna take a lot longer to be used, right? So one of these will be taking a lot longer to be used, and therefore, you know, we're basically going to be able to have all of these working, is the point. I can now delete this whole thing too, right? This is just in the way. Up, up. And yeah, that's basically it on this side. We can delete these ones. And so now that this is going to restart working fully, I think our fertilizer production should restart fully. And so our advanced fertilizer should restart fully. And so this belt hopefully will get full. We'll see that in a second. I've done all of the quests, by the way. So that's great. That also means, you know, we are producing probably enough for what we need, and so it's a good time to start moving forward too. So in the last episode we did the advanced fertilizer, we started using all of these, now we started making coke too, and that's gonna be really critical for the steel ingots. So let's unlock the steel ingots next. I can also unlock this. This is not an actual production, but I don't want to unlock, for example, the gloom spores, because if I do this, that means the quests are gonna request it, and I don't want them to request it for now. Okay. I'm starting already to see a lot more of advanced fertilizer, so that's great. I mean, this, we should get to a point where this belt is full. And this belt is full, that means, yeah, this, and you can see here, this is now already getting tons of reserves. So I don't know, this is probably too much for just this, but I'd rather have, you know, a bit of waste where here this is burning for no reason than not have enough for my fertilizer. In particular, if soon we try to improve the fertilizer productions. But yeah, let's look at the steel now. This is not a good that you can sell, but it is definitely something really critical. How to make it? You're gonna need to use this athanor. This is a new building, production building. You're gonna need to use iron ingots for it, and you're gonna need to use coke powder. So what we just produced here. And we don't have iron ingots here, so we're not gonna make it there for sure. This is my fertilizer. We're not gonna make it here either. We do have some iron there, right? But this is just small iron production just for this. And by the way, we probably at some point also want to replace this whole thing here, or by putting again the coal production, right? But for now, we can leave it there. It's just basically going to cost a bit more money to keep that alive, but it's not wrong, you know, it's not like it's not working or anything. Okay, then here, this is not same thing. We probably want to replace this. I can potentially just take this space then. Yeah, maybe we just take this place here. So we replace, you know, this whole thing there by a coal production, and then we put an iron production and then a steel production. So let me work on this, and I'll see you in a minute. And here it is. I want to show you two things. One is you can see the belt is full of advanced fertilizer. We're definitely producing enough now. Alright, look at this. Oh, this is not actually full. Okay. I thought there was more reserves here, but at least this is full, so shouldn't be a problem. I see this is full too. I'm guessing this is full. Yeah, so I don't think we have a problem. I don't think we probably can put a lot more things on this belt of fertilizer than what we have, but this is enough for the whole thing basically to work on 100%. We should see it also on those belts, right? Those belts should be basically full. Yeah, this looks full. Yeah, this is working at full speed, and we have all of these full. Okay, yeah, healing potion is basically the least full, and I can see that indeed we don't have reserves here of sage, because that's the last place also that the fertilizer probably got to. This seems okay. Like, we should be making a lot of these per day. Look at this, we dispatched 600 today. Not at 800 yet, but we're definitely pretty close. We're pretty close. So that's the first thing, but more importantly, we have a steel production over here. Look at this, 34 steel. So we killed the wood that used to be there. We replaced it by coal. All right, we're getting coal here. Then it goes to these pretty compact blocks where we are transforming it to coke. It goes down, it gets compressed actually in the back there. There's two lines of grinders, and then that creates obviously the powder. Then we have to say a priority splitter to say first please go here to make sure you know you're burning some, and then if you have more you can go on this side. Alright, then this will go here to burn our stone into quicklime. Here we can see we stored 650 today, So that's quite a lot, 156 coins, plus we did a couple of quests. So yeah, we made some nice profit. So yes, instead of having the charcoal here, we are using coke powder for those one here. But more importantly, we have 4 new ones on this side. Alright, so it's burning like this. The first 2 are gonna make us some iron ingots. We're actually making 20 iron ingots, right? 10 plus 10, which is more than what we need, to be honest. But that's okay. It's just, for now, as you can see, it's not actually full. To kickstart, it's okay to have 2. 1 won't have been enough, because I have 3 of those Atana over here. And these one, they're gonna take some iron ingot, and they're also gonna take coke powder. Now I've put 3 because for 2 reasons. The first one is that if you look at the size of those things, you can actually put 1.5. So now by putting 2, I can put 3. But more importantly, I've put 3 because this is consuming 15 of the coke powder. So with 3, that's 45. Now remember, I'm making 60 here, plus I'm consuming a bit into those furnaces. So I think that's gonna be fine, but I couldn't have put 1 more basically. This is the max I can put. Then it is going to take some iron ingot, and it says 15, but this is kind of confusing, or it's the wrong number to look at. Because when you produce, you're going to produce steel, but you're also going to produce some iron. Or to say differently, some of the iron is not transformed and you get it back. So instead of actually needing 15 of of iron ingot, sorry, we actually need 3.8. Like 15 minus 11.3. So we need 3.8 to actually make it work, as long as you get, the iron ingot back in. So 3.8 times 3 of the Atana, right? That's basically going to be a bit more than 10. And this is why I said 1 won't be enough, but 2 is overkill. So this should get full pretty quickly. Now, to make sure that we're using this, byproduct of iron, we are, sending it on this belt here, and then I'm sending it back, and then we have a priority merger that says, in priority, take this, and if you need more, you can take that one. Right? So that's what's happening here. We have the coke powder, on the 2nd level, and we have here the steel actually at the 1st level, goes down into this. So you can see we're quickly making some. I mean, this is basically 10 per minute, right? So that's gonna be pretty powerful steel production. And if I go back to the research, with this steel, we're gonna be able to make some metal stands, we're gonna be able to make cannons, and we're gonna be able to make steel gears. This is something that you can also sell for quite a lot. So let's unlock all of these. I know this is not exactly the core mission. The core mission is more over here. But, I think let's be realistic. I don't think we're going to be able to finish in 50 days while only having, 1 plot of land and no customers. So right now I'm making sure that we're going through everything rather than going super fast. So I'm going to do those research here. Then I do think we will start moving into this. Or actually, maybe not. Maybe we go more on this side. Particular the relic. I am keen to do the relic at the bottom. I'll show you why in a second. So yes, let's go into this one and then we can do the relics. So we have the steel gears. So let's go into V and we can see it in the goods. This is going to take steel ingots into the processor. So it's a pretty simple one. So let's do this right away. Actually, I'm on the wrong one. 7. Okay. The recipe of the steel ingots, you can see it's taking 3.8. So it is one of these, right? So I should definitely be making more. But what I'm gonna do is something like this, where we store some and we use some, and then here we're just gonna have something like this. Up. So that should start making steel gears at a pretty nice rate, right? More than 5 per minute. Yeah, some will go this side. Let's see one. Yeah, there it is. 1 out of 2, basically 50% will go there until this is full. When this is full, all of it will go there. So yes, that is great. We probably have some new quests. Let's do the research for the Jupiter. Check quickly. Oh, we have a new sample request. This is for selling on, you know, the wholesale. So that's gonna be a cool one to look at in the future. We have 2 days for that one, just a bit of sub, that's gonna be easy. Oh, we have 0 day for this one, but I have everything on me, so let's just do it right away. Okay, so why do I want to do this relic here and probably do it, like I said, at the bottom? Because if you look at the cost, it is tons of planks, tons of small gears, which are basically small planks, and also pulleys, which are basically planks plus one other thing. So here at the bottom, I am making, you know, my mushrooms, but I'm also making tons of planks, right? So what I've had to do is, you know, storing some, but when this is full, like I think one of them was full, like this one was full, I've had to also create those buckets to trash, you know, the resource into something else, because we're not actually using the planks anymore. Before, we were sending the planks here to transform into coal. Now I'm not even doing that. So I'm gonna use all of those planks now to make these Jupiters, because they cost, as we saw, tons. But ladies and gentlemen, I think that will be in the next episode. We've already done so much today. We have really improved our advanced fertilizer productions thanks to all of these. We have also revamped completely our production of the bandages to sell 600, 700 per day, making tons of money. We have also made the soap. We have also started to make steel. So that was some great progress, if I may say so. Okay, thank you for watching, and I hope to see you next time.